Hi, Jim Romer. Welcome. We're going to be talking about our big call in the natural gas market this winter on a warm winter, the cocoa market exploding to all-time highs, and also soybeans, and how you can download a complimentary issue of Weather Wealth. This was written about a week and a half ago, and we'll talk about what you will find in my newsletter. So, basically, this issue that you can download talks about whether El Nino will transition to La Nina because of record warm global ocean temperatures and the melting Arctic. We could have an El Nino neutral this summer. Okay, we'll talk about that more in the weeks to come. This is my weather spider. Look how I've been bearish natural gas a -6, bearish most grains, slightly friendly cocoa, all these different numbers I have in my newsletter that represent technical analysis, weather, other fundamentals, and things like that that you can enjoy and use various option futures and ETF strategies based on my spiders and my recommendations. For example, in this issue you'll download that I wrote about a week and a half ago, you'll find why the warming ocean temperatures along the Atlantic, pretty much all over the world, are changing the jet stream and Gulf Stream patterns and actually could prevent La Nina from forming until later on in the fall and winter. If that happens, we'll have big crops potentially for corn and soybeans. I've been bearish corn and beans for months. We could see another 10 to 15% down by the end of the summer if La Nina holds off. We also have a variety of spiders, like the coffee spider, slightly bearish. 13 of the last 15 years, coffee prices have gone lower into the month of March with more rain in northern Brazil. Look at the global crop score for all these commodities. We look at, as I mentioned, anti-herd mentality. How many people are long or short? In the case of coffee, for example, a -3 bearish anti-herd there on your right means too many people long the market. You add up all these scores, and we have a slightly bearish attitude in coffee. Again, we do this for multiple markets for farmers and traders all over the world. Natural gas rallied briefly last on Wednesday because of a relative strength index pretty similar to February 2023, very, very low relative strength. We had a bounce, but then went lower. Look at that above the star. We jumped up in February, went down in March. So the point is, I've been pretty much bearish natural gas for a long time. A little bit cold weather in the east this weekend with some snow. But look at this next week. All these people talking about a polar vortex, doom and gloom. Cold weather, not going to happen, folks, because in my view, the record warm oceans and the Arctic Circle and El Nino are combined to produce one of the warmest winters again on record. I think natural gas prices may go down to $1.50 in the next couple weeks. This is my program from a month ago when everybody was talking about all this cold weather. We had one polar vortex in early January. This looks at the QBO, stratospheric winds. Yes, it's warm aloft. There is talk about the AO index turning negative. Not going to really happen that much. When you look at these teleconnections, staples of climatology thousands of miles away, including El Nino, look at the month of March in red there, at least 4 degrees above normal over much of the United States. That's bearish natural gas. How about cocoa? An unbelievable parabolic move. We caught part of this move, certainly not all of it, over the last 6 or 8 months. Look at the red in West Africa. Crops keep coming down, stressed areas, first from flooding rains, disease issues last summer, then from the Harmattan wind here, a strong dusty wind that hurt some crops here over the last few weeks. Look at that on your left. 13% relative humidity, a dry, dusting wind, lowering the cocoa crop by like 50% in parts of Ghana and Ivory Coast. I don't know how high prices are going to go, folks, but option strategies are the way to be using these markets right now with all this volatility. So with cocoa, the global crop score is a +4, extremely bullish. Anti-herd mentality, many people long, is slightly bearish at a -3. Kind of a neutral strategy right now at these prices because to the right, cocoa prices tend to go down in March. What do? Use options trades. That's what we do at Weather Wealth, maybe trading call options and puts and things like that. Soybeans, one of my best markets over the last few months, was very bearish back in December. Demand has really been the key, even though the South American crop has come down. Just terrible demand. We were slightly bearish about a month ago. -4 because we've already had a big break in the market. There are some concerns with some crops in South America. When you have a very bearish score, use futures. When you have a slightly bearish score, use options. Like, for example, short call options longer term has been profitable in my newsletter. So regarding soybeans right now, to the left, the Brazil crop keeps being cut, but because of very poor demand, look at that, 23% below a year ago on the right of your screen there, we are still in a bear market, as you can see technically in soybeans. 105-degree heat coming into Argentina again next week, but on top of that, we have rain. It's kind of a mixed situation. If it was not for all this rain you see there with the arrow on the left over the next 4 or 5 days, we would see soybean prices bottoming out. The bottom line is, yes, the crops have come down in South America, but not enough to really prevent this down spiral in soybean prices from a lack of demand and the technical action of the market. So the golden rule that we use in our newsletter, when you have these various strategies and things like that, when you have more neutral to slightly bearish or bullish scores, you use more options trades in natural gas, for example, cocoa, also soybeans, pretty much all other markets I cover. When spiders are -8 or -10, then you use much more futures. That's what we do at Weather Wealth. Again, download a free issue. We're more than happy to help you, and we give this information out very often before the markets react and before other weather forecasters change their opinions. We tend to be ahead of the herd usually in most of these markets with our weather forecasts and trading advice. Enjoy.